Hey y'all, welcome back to the Swift Tea. Megan Thee Stallion just dropped her documentary and there's a lot of tea in it. Now let's review it together and y'all can tell me everything that you thought about this video in the comments. Let's get it. Now y'all know we can go through everything due to copyright and time, but I will be going through and showing y'all the juicy parts of this documentary. So stay tuned.
I feel like I finally have reached a breaking point where I'm genuinely tired and I don't want to do it.
So right off the jump of this documentary, Megan Thee Stallion talks about her struggles, anxiety. She's feeling like she's gonna break down every time, and just her struggles in general. And that is actually the truth of most artists. The truth of most big artists you see today is they're really struggling with anxiety. They're really struggling with a lot of things, drugs and so on.
I feel like it's always some kind of target on me.
It's displays of blatant nudity and sexualization that is keeping women down in this society.
Power to women, huh?
I'm empowering women and I'm empowering the men who want strong women.
Megan, honey, I feel like saying you've been empowering women is a bit of a stretch. But if some women feel empowered by what you do and your music, then
You're so beautiful. You're amazing. You can do whatever you wanted to. Oh my gosh, you're tall. You got model height. When I got older, I was like the tallest girl in the class. When I would go to school, I would hear kids picking on me for being tall. And I was like, Mama, what should I do? She was like, stop all that damn crying. You have to demand your respect.
So Megan here also talks about being bullied in school for being tall. She talks about her relationship with her dad and how she grew up without her father for the first 7 years of her life because he was in jail. And basically he was a good father. They got along. They were inseparable. But soon after he had an heart attack and he passed away.
He had a heart attack. My mama was a wreck. And I didn't want to cry because I didn't want to make her more sad. So we never really talked about it. I think that's when I really started creating Megan Thee Stallion. I realized that when I'm rapping, I get to pretend to be somebody stronger than what I actually am. I showed my mama this video of me rapping on YouTube.
This last chapter, Megan really wanted us to know that her mom was her strength, her rock, her advisor, her girl, someone who shared her on like a friend and not really like her mom. You know, she was her mom. At the same time, she was a friend that would take her angles and then just like be, you know, hyping each other up and all of those sweet things. But from here, Megan finally introduces us to her friend Kelsey, and there's a lot about Kelsey that we're going to be getting into later on in this video, but let's move on.
Let's be real. Everybody's a hoe. Everybody's a freak. Everybody's having sex. I just want women to feel like we are powerful, we are in control, we can say whatever we want to say.
So do you ever feel like you an object because of this?
Well, see, men are objects to me. So, like...
I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This mindset is a rotten mindset. This mindset is a mindset of a girl who grew up without both parents. And I know that you've gone through life and a lot of things have happened to you. And I also understand that you're trying to change narratives of the typical, oh, the girls are being the objects, to now the men are the objects and they're objects to me. But it still sounds sick and it still sounds like everything is wrong. And for you to even have that mindset and for you to even talk about it freely, oh, girl.
Mama, she called me and she was like, man, I keep fucking up my words. It was a tumor in her brain.
First off, I noticed that this documentary has been in the works for years because you can see Megan's old face and she was still talking and narrating. And it's obvious that, you know, it's been in the works for years. Secondly, losing a parent at that age after she's been with you the whole time and your father also died, and like it feels like this is the second time you're losing a parent. It is so hurtful, and that is something that could take you down if you're not careful. Like you could almost lose your life with them. But Megan got through it. She continued pushing. She continued fighting for her career because at that time she wasn't like really popular. She hasn't really gained a lot of fame when her mom died. But she kept fighting. 2 weeks after she went back into, you know, fighting for her career and working hard. And fast forward to now, she fast forward to a few years later, she got her first collab with Beyonce, and she got the collab with Nicki, but she doesn't want to mention that, which is like, girl, Nicki gave you your first major collab. Let's not even try to, you know, water that down. But let's just move on to the Tory Lanez situation, because that is what I really want us to talk about, y'all. And I just want to add, Megan talks about her friend Kelsey being there for her, and she just wanted a friend and just wanting someone to be around her just because she was so lonely. And they supported each other through everything and got to where they are right now. So that is going to be really important later in the video.
And Tory was one of the people that I just started hanging out with. He had expressed to me that his mama had passed. We was bonding about that. I thought we were really friends. My daddy always said that everything that grand ain't your friend.
First off, trauma bonding with your best friend's man is not a good look. That is something that's always gonna end up in sexual relations, and you did it more than once, so you were like dead wrong for that. And I'm sorry that you got hurt, but let's move on to the night of the shooting, which is the part that I've wanted to react to.
On the night that he shot me, I was very confused. I was very hurt. We left to go home. I was in the car with Tory and his driver and Kelsey. We are all arguing. I don't remember exactly what I was saying, but I knew I was talking shit, and he probably was a little offended. I tried to get out the car one time. I'm over this shit. They was like, Megan, get back in the car, get back in the car. We almost to your house. This boy getting so angry because his feelings was hurt by a woman. Like, I know friends fight, but I'm not thinking that it's about to get like this. I get out the car again. I ain't even got shit on. I just got on a swimsuit. And I'm walking off, and this motherfucker just started hollering at me. He was like, dance, bitch. Tory can't even believe he shot me at this point. Like, he like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I apologize. He's like, Megan, I swear to God, I'll get y'all $1 million. Please don't say nothing, just don't tell nobody. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, $1 million? Like, y'all should be focused on trying to help me.
This is where I take my last straw, because something in this story is just missing. It just doesn't seem right, okay? Am I the only one that's thinking, you're sleeping with your best friend's man, y'all go to a party, y'all are leaving the party, something must have happened. Probably you guys are just talking about, or probably the three of you found out that y'all were sleeping with the same man, or the two of you and your friend Kelsey found out that y'all were sleeping with the same man, and something happened, but nobody is trying to tell us in this story why they were all arguing at the same time. Nobody is telling us why the argument was so bad that Megan was ready to walk on the streets with her bikini on.
Not even 2 days later, Kelsey and Tory is like meeting up. Kelsey told me this out on mouth. Like, he was like, yeah, I just want to thank you for not saying nothing. Let me give you some money. Let me invest in your business, blah, blah, blah. How could you meet up privately in a room with somebody who was just bold enough to pull a gun out on your best friend and shoot it?
Well, Megan, I'm not trying to water down on your pain and trauma, but this was Kelsey's man. I mean, he did something while he was drunk, which cannot be excused by the law, but this was her man, and he probably begged to try to speak to her and try to talk to her. So yeah, she could meet up with him for a short period of time. That's not something you take out on her, or that's not something to get offended by.
I was in that hospital for a few days, and I had to get the shells removed out of my feet. I wanted to quietly move on from the situation. I am not going to be able to dance no more. I'm not going to be able to have Megan stay in knees because I'm going to Megan stay in ankles.
Megan talks about the aftermath of the shooting being she couldn't dance the way she used to. She got backlash from social media, from YouTubers, from TikTokers, and all of those backlash and all of those pain she was feeling, but mentally, and the bullying, everything just added to the pain of the shooting.
Yes, this nigga Tory shot me. Stop lying. I was waiting for Kelsey to come forward.
Waiting for Kelsey to come forward and be your backbone at a time where she just found out that you slept with her man was like the worst decision ever.
I wasn't your enemy. You made me your enemy. Come to find out, your ass was fucking with a nigga behind my back that I was on first. And that ain't right, because you supposed to be my best friend.
She just really disappointed me and let me down. Do you feel like anything that you saying justifies the fact that I was shot? I would never let somebody drag my best friend, let people speculate that this didn't happen to her. When I seen with my own 2 eyes what happened, I just seen my best friend get shot. I don't give a fuck what we mad about. I wouldn't have did her like that.
What Megan isn't realizing is that night, Kelsey found out that she was sleeping with her man. So Kelsey wasn't ready to defend no betrayer or no backstabber or whatever. Now that we're really talking about this argument and this shooting, who goes to a party with a gun? Like, why do y'all need a gun if you're not feeling like threatened, or if you're feeling safe around your environment, or if you know you're not going to any places where people might try to hurt you or whatever, if you know you have security, why do you have a gun? If you have a gun, 90% of the time you would use it because someone is going to provoke you to that extent where you would need to use it. So learn from Tory's mistakes, y'all.
What was the nature of your relationship with Tory Lanez? Because he has led people to believe that it was a sexual relationship, that you two were dating. What was the nature
We
of
were
your...
not dating. We were really close. We were friends. We hung out like every day. And
Did you have an intimate relationship with him?
like sexual?
Yeah. Megan, did you have a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez? Yes, that's my question.
I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory.
I'm not talking about the goddamn shooting. Everything has been a distraction from the shooting. Like, I used to be so confident in myself, and I used to be like, it wouldn't have been a time where anybody would have asked me about fucking somebody, and I would have been like, so, okay, yeah, I did that shit. Like, I like to fuck. What about it? But the way, like, they have villainized me for being this type of person, it started to make me second guess myself. Yes, bitch, I lied to Gayle King, bitch. First of all, I didn't know that bitch was even gonna ask me about that shit. Bitch, she's always want to talk about this shooting. Why'd you ask me about fucking Tory? That's not what this is about. Even if I fucked this nigga like once, maybe twice, on a drunk night. Bitch, kept. Well, I wasn't no bad person, but I was definitely drinking like a motherfucker, though. But I wasn't fighting. The worst thing I was doing was drinking and fucking. That's it.
Throughout this whole experience, I don't understand, how is Tory looking so happy? How could you shoot somebody and be living life like you can do none of that shit? I remember he texted my phone and was like, I'm watching you on live. You look so sad. And I was like, this motherfucker is crazy. I finally had to get a new number. I got a new phone. And I got a restraining order into Rolling Loud. He came on right after me.
I'll get somebody out here $1 million if they can guess who in here.
Now, this is where I feel like Tory Lanez is so wrong, because it is one thing for you to hurt somebody or be involved or unknowingly, probably because you were under the influence of alcohol, and then you were immediately sorry, you called out, you reached out, you wanted to financially feel like giving the person money could wipe away the things or the pain you've caused. And then all of that is aside, right? But then a few months later, or a few months later, you start like taunting the person. You start doing all of these things. You're literally doing the most because, you know, you're trying to please the media. You're trying to use the whole situation to sell music. And I get that you didn't want your image to die. He was trying to protect his image, trying to protect his own self and what he's built. But for you to just use that to taunt the person, for you to constantly indirectly threaten the person, is just so wrong. It's just like waters down on any apology you might have ever given. It just makes you the villain. It just makes it obvious that you're not sorry for the shooting or for anything, or for indirectly shooting the person, or for threatening to shoot the person and pulling the trigger because you're under the influence. Like, it just takes away from everything you've done, and it is so wrong. So wrong. So Megan talks about getting through her trauma, depression, anxiety after the shooting and before Tory was arrested and got sentenced. And she talked about thinking that after he was sentenced, she would just bounce back because everybody can see now that she was right. He's been sentenced and the law has taken its full course, and everybody would just let her be. But people kept dragging her because they didn't believe that she got shot and all of that stuff. Talks about her court appearance and how she felt so scared. Basically talks about her court appearance and the experience of going into the courts and speaking her truth. That's all I'll be taking for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you think about this whole thing in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Bye guys.